facing a national education emergency. Our students studying outside the elite private school networks are struggling. There are two things happening. They're either unable to get access to higher education, or they find themselves in higher education institutions, but they struggle tremendously, and some drop out. This is happening across the country in both public and private universities, and the reason is shocking. These students are unable to pass university entrance exams, and they cannot pass their university classes because of one essential reason. They cannot comprehend the language of instruction, and it's a language that's not even their own, English. We are literally excluding millions of children from accessing higher education, even if they want to study further. Now, how did we get here? How did language become a barrier to higher education in a country where English is not even our primary language of instruction? The reason I am talking about this is because I work with such children. Children who are unable to get admission into universities, children who get admission into universities but feel extremely overwhelmed, and children who eventually drop out. I work for an organization called the Citizens Foundation, which funds low-income schools across the country. Even with our networks and resources, the primary language of instruction in TCF schools is Urdu. Now you would ask, why would we do that when we know that our higher education is taught in English? Language has a lot to do with learning, and in order to learn, you have to understand the content. That is dependent on the language of instruction. And for the majority of our students in Pakistan, that language is Urdu. The reason why the government has not been able to achieve a standardization of English as the medium of instruction in Pakistan, and the reason why we are also facing that problem in TCF is simple. English is taught as a subject for a reason. There are simply not enough teachers who are fluent in English and can teach English. That is why policymakers keep switching to local languages as mediums of instructions in the classroom. Our other challenge is language is a tool for communication. Spoken language has a lot to do with a child's command over a language. And in Pakistan, we have 72 different languages that are spoken. When English is not spoken in a child's home, and the family members are not familiar with the language at all, English becomes restricted to a mere subject. Spoken language has a lot to do with comprehension. So the language a child communicates with and thinks in is ultimately what is spoken in their homes and communities, and that is never English. Education theorists actually say that in the primary years, students should be taught in their mother language. But this can become extremely challenging when you have a classroom with several mother tongues present. The next best option is to teach in a language that is easily accessible to the majority of the country's population, and that is Urdu. Urdu is a language that is spoken and passed down verbally and does not need a certain standard of education to teach. Students see it all around them as they navigate their neighborhoods, their communities, and their cities. And so it makes sense to use Urdu as a medium of instruction in Pakistan. Now, what is the student's current experience coming from a public school system and trying to access higher education? Since Urdu is the medium of instruction, the student's understanding of core subjects such as math and science is also in Urdu. After having studied in Urdu for 16 years, when they are finally ready for higher education, the language of instruction, examination, and course books suddenly switches to English. Students with a rudimentary understanding of English cannot keep up. So what happens? They are unable to pass admission tests, they are unable to pass their coursework, and they end up joining the blue-collar workforce. Let me share an example of a TCF student who joined a top-tier University of Pakistan. In his first semester, he was struggling with his English course, so he reached out to his TCF college teachers. We told him to speak to his university professor, who responded by asking him why his English was so weak and why did he join a top university if he was not fluent in English. We spend years encouraging these kids to stay in school, to keep studying, to make it to university and change the trajectory of their lives for good. But when incidents such as these happen, it is devastating for these kids. This should not be happening to hardworking students with merit who want to pursue higher education. English language is a tool for communication, but in Pakistan, it is the prime segregator of economic and social class and access. Let's take a look at university admission tests. In Pakistan, most private and public universities require students to take an admission test. Most of these tests have an English component to them. Some of the private universities in the country also require students to take the SATs, which has a highly challenging English section. And the kids I am referring to cannot even fathom taking such tests. So this is the situation. What do? We are at a crossroad. We have two options, or we risk condemning entire generations from not seeking higher education and not being able to enter the workforce. Our first option would be to switch entirely to Urdu as a medium of instruction and apply this across our entire education system, which means higher education as well. However, this seems highly unlikely because we are knee-deep in the problem of language. The second option is to perhaps create free English teaching foundation courses or foundation years to help these students who come from such educational backgrounds. So for example, when the Citizens Foundation identified this problem with their school students, they created the Citizens Foundation College, which was meant to serve as a building platform where students are taught remedial English for 2 years and are prepared for higher education. We catered our English courses to meet the contextual needs of our learners. And we are seeing results. Currently, we have 280 students who are studying in various public and private universities across the country from an alumni strength of 413 students. But we are catering to a very small population of TCF students just in Karachi. For example, just this year in Karachi, we have 3,000 students who will be completing their metric exams from various TCF schools. Out of those 3,000 students, 200, most of them will apply for the TCF college admission test, and we can only enroll 200 of them. Out of those 200, we hope that half of them will be able to make it to university. It's a very small percentage of students who we are being able to help. What do we do nationally for the millions of students who are facing this issue? We could open foundation colleges across the country, but would that be feasible and practical, considering that we already don't have enough schools and colleges in the country, and also a falling public education investment? No, that's not practical. So what do? Universities should be made to offer extended help to these students who come from such backgrounds. So it should be made mandatory for these universities to create entrance examinations that can be given in 2 subjects, which students have the option to choose, so Urdu or English. Universities should also make their classrooms and their coursework and their examinations bilingual. Universities should also alter their admission tests and should create alternate tests where they can gauge a student's aptitude and not focus on the English language skills. Universities should have foundation courses or foundation years for students when they realize that these students are going to struggle with the course load because the course load is in English. English is a language of mobility and opportunity, but it is also a language of exclusion and privilege. What happens when these students are told that they are only worthy of being heard if they speak in English? And what happens when these students try their best to learn the language, but still don't get the support and encouragement that they need and deserve? Should quality higher education be made elusive for such students simply because of their lack of English skills? Our broken system is not catering to this issue, where our youth cannot attain socio-economic mobility because of their inability to speak a foreign language. We have to open our eyes to the reality of our majority. It is understandable when a language is a barrier in a foreign country for immigrants. But how can a foreign language be a barrier at home for young students wanting to learn? We have to fix our system now. It's already too late. Thank you.